Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Sunday night, December 14th. We're like halfway through December. And what's that? About 11 days till Christmas. How crazy is that? So let's go through the market. I didn't post out a list tonight because I was doing a ton of stuff. New York last night. That was a great trip. We'll talk about that. Snowing in New Jersey and a lot on the East Coast. So that was a lot of fun today. And I'm exhausted, but we'll go through the market, see what's going on. And here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody tonight? And there's your heat map. Remember, Friday was not a beautiful day, huh? The SPY was down, the Qs were down. I don't know what I'm even typing right there. Let me get back to this. There we go. There's the SPY. Look at that thing. It was down 741, dipping down hard. The Qs were down pretty big as well. Your IWM, that was down, and there's everything was down for the most part. So that's what it looked like on Friday afternoon when we got on the market. So I'm just going to run through everything. I didn't make a list, but I still have our normal list. So I'll run through a lot of it, see what it looks like. Obviously, our cannabis stocks are looking good. MSOS. This is the ETF. We've talked about this. Tilray right here. That was running up even more in the after hours. If you heard us on the Discord, I was saying this is the best one out of the cannabis stocks. I've talked about it before. SMDL right there. That was running up a little bit right there. Not looking too bad. And then you have your Canopy Growth. And what else? WEED is another one. That is an ETF right there. That was exploding. Look at that thing running up pretty big. And then you have Toke. That's another one right there. So these ETFs are running up pretty big. Cambria can be a cannabis ETF. So lots of cannabis stocks running up with the hopes of Trump actually making it reclassifying it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. So we've talked about that, and we'll see what happens. I know he hasn't mentioned anything just yet, but on the rumors and stuff, it's up, and apparently he's going to say something. So here we go. Let's just take a quick look. That ONDS was pulling back. Open Door had been pulling back down to that trend line right there. And QMCO is pulling back, and we don't even have to look at all these because mostly the market was kind of pulling back on Friday. So we just want to kind of take a look and see if it wants to set up, and we'll be on at 7 a.m. tomorrow to see what it looks like. That UNH, that could keep some momentum right there. Hasn't been looking bad, the healthcare sector. And again, it really depends on what the market looks like as it opens up tomorrow. That ABTC is American Bitcoin way down. That's the Trump company. And Pew right here is down as well. And CPL, that wasn't that great either. It had been running up the other day, but did pull back. There it was. It did spike up there and then kind of pull back. So maybe that one is looking a little bit better. I thought it was actually pulling back there as it spiked up Friday as well, but it looks like it's not too bad right there. We'd have to look at it again over a weekend. And one of these Trump companies in PSQH just kind of pulling back, nothing crazy. BMNR was dipping down, and we'll look at crypto. That's actually kind of down. Bitcoin's back to 88.5. It just keeps jumping around there. Ethereum's at 3,075. Solana's back to 130. Stellar's at 23 cents. Chain length's 1338. And our Ripple's at $1.98. It's back under $2. So there you are, according to the stock cube. So we'll be looking at all them and take a quick look. Here's your SBET right here. That was dipping down, and UPXI was also pulling back. So there you go. That was our crypto ones, and ORBS, a little bit of pullback there. And of course, FGNX, that did have a little bit of pullback as well, had been recently running up, and that looks like a good, healthy pullback. So let's see how far that one wants to come back right there, FGNX. And let's see that TONX, that's pulling back and not looking great at the moment. And then you had your Galaxy pulling back pretty big there on Friday. We'll see if it gets bouncing. With crypto down, I don't know if it'll get moving. And then ASTS Space Mobile, this one was a big dipper right there. And then Kodak pulled back, and Bull was pulling back as well. And a lot of the market was pulling back. So let's see what wasn't pulling back. UMAC was, and that was pulling back pretty good. They look like they're going to pull back a little bit more. Nuclear wasn't looking too bad. We can keep an eye on that. That Rocket Lab pulled back after that big run up, and we'll have to see again what the market opens up tomorrow, what it looks like. And LITM right there had been pulling back. Here's that NIX, and that one a little bit of pullback. So we definitely had to have some pullback there on Friday with everything, that's for sure. and that is your NIXX and IVF right here. That one was trying to get set up in a good spot, and then that one started to pull back right there. So what's up, Michael Anthony? How are you in Laptop Travel? And you're there behind the MA. Wow, yeah, it's how are you there, Laptop Travel, and everybody else, and Luis Rodriguez, whoever else is tuning in there? And we do have a Sunday night football game happening tonight. The Vikings and Cowboys are coming on, so we'll watch that and we'll see what's going on. I'll keep you guys posted. And like I said, we'll probably do a pretty quick show. I'm gonna pass out tonight. Oh man, I'm definitely passing out pretty good. I got home last night, and I'll tell you about the New York trip in a few minutes. But real quick, I got home at 3:30 in the morning, and I had to drive home in the snow. And yeah, that was a lot of fun there. Doge Mom and Nine. I don't think you're very familiar with the snow driving out on the West Coast, but yeah, it was the last half hour as I got back like closer to my place. It was coming down. It was like a complete whiteout. I got like 5 to 6 inches of snow there. So yeah, I went out today with the snowblower and went around, did the whole block like I usually do. So that was pretty exhausting as well. And then Dougie, we were out there all day playing. So yeah, I'm pretty beat. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, here we go. I'm gonna cruising through this list real quick, see what's going on. We'll go through our Mag 7 Spy, big caps, them guys, see what you look like. Look at Michael Anthony, and we'll see what else is happening over here. So let me keep on cruising right through real quick, and then I'll tell you about the New York trip, and I'll tell you about today and everything else, and what's going to be going on in the market, and that will be and then we'll wrap it up and be back at 7 a.m. I don't even know what I'm talking about. 7 a.m. tomorrow. And everybody has a 2 hour delay around here tomorrow. So they're not getting up early. The kids, my wife, all of them, all the schools have a 2 hour delay. Like I said, we did get a pretty good amount of snow. I mean, it's pretty clear. The thing is, it's so cold out. Holy cow. Luis Rodriguez, if you're on, anyone in the East Coast and Jersey area, it is so cold out there. That wind will like cut you in half right now. We were just out and just came in, and holy cow, it was freezing out there. So anyway, there you go. That's your weather update on the East Coast and around here. And let's see what's the NESTEC. That one is pulling back. It started to look good, and obviously most of the market started to pull back there on Friday. Hertz not looking so bad there. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. That one could get set up, and we've been watching this Chipotle, and look at it go. Nutty right there. So we've been watching Chipotle, and there you go with CMG. And Eli Lilly was running back up, and maybe that is curling right back up there. So that is what our LLY Eli Lilly looks like. And here you go at your Cracker Barrel. It was pulling right back down again. I didn't think it was going to get running just yet. And yeah, I don't think that the company's looking so hot. Lulu went nutty on the earnings. We were watching that one. And Boyle went way down. Holy cow, look at that thing, the natural gas. And I'm surprised, again, it's so cold. This thing, let it touch this bottom, guys. I think this is going to be a great opportunity. When it touches this bottom, Boyle is going to be popping right back up there. So we will definitely be watching that one. And then your Gush right here is your oil and gas, and it was pulling back as well on Friday. So definitely another one to keep an eye on. And Plug right here had been plugging along. It looks like it. I mean, we'll see tomorrow if it tops out and wants to pull back, but it definitely had been running up for a while. And QuantumScape had looked good until Friday, and then that dipped down pretty good. And Zach, your Rocket did pull back pretty good as well, and back to the 20. So again, we have to see what the market opens up like tomorrow, but it's not looking exactly perfect after Friday. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how much it really wants to bounce. Home Depot and Lowe's not looking bad there. Home Depot looking better now. Look at that. Look how fast that turned around. So Lowe's was looking way better. Now Home Depot is looking better after their earnings or something, or the Home Depot day or something like that. And anyway, LDI pulling back right there. And let's see what that HOUS, that house, and that's also pulling back. So I would say we're going to see a little bit of pullback unless the market just opens up and it just gets cruising along tomorrow. Maybe Trump sends out a tweet like, I hope you guys bought the dip, and then the market gets cruising again. I'm not saying he did that, but it would be nice. And KVUE right here, your Tylenol maker, just kind of hanging out there. And how about our IMRX? And that is getting set up right here. So you could have a little bit of pullback. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that trend line at like 561 right there, Ross. And we'll keep an eye on that one. to see what that looks like right there. And let's see what that Figment was doing. And that even pulled back there. So yeah, everything just kind of pulling back. Gold, that was running up there. And then that whole holy cow, that took a big old dip right there. GLD. Way up, and then it came down. It looked like it went up a little bit in the after hours right there. So, but it was way up here and in the 400s, and now you're in the 395. So there you go. At gold, we'll see how that opens, and of course your silver look right here. Let's see what silver's up to. That was pulling back as well. And yeah, we got some rocket right there. We just looked at it. It was pulling back to that 20, Zach. We'll see tomorrow if it can bounce up. You can see it crossing down. It looks like almost most of the market looks like it wants to pull back. I can't guarantee you, but I can say that's the look it has. It was pulling back to Qs in the after hour. It gets down here. Maybe we do have a little flash dip down to that 594 or something like that. And your spies could dip down a little bit more. They had some room right there. So you could come down to your 20 or even down there. So we'll be keeping an eye on the market in the morning. That's for sure, to see how it opens up. And let's see what KRMN is doing. This Carmen, that was dipping, and then your critical metals there was down. So not a whole lot to talk about anyway. So Circle was taking another circle back down. And even that C1 had been looking good. It's still holding itself up there on the news that, or on the hopes that it's going to get a buyout. So that's what we're looking at for that bad boy. And then your Rich Tech Robotics and these guys, they were pulling back as well. And let's see, yep, Rich Tech Robotics right there. That was pulling back. Serve was down a little bit. CELH, that was even pulling back there. There you go, Luis Rodriguez. Good evening. Here's your ELF right here. That's pulling back. Futures are flat. Everything was pulling back there basically on Friday. And again, I think we could see a little more pullback action tomorrow, is what it kind of looks like. There's your IREN. And how about your Paramount and your Netflix? Royal Rumble right here, NFLX. And yeah, there you go. Trying to bounce back off the bottom. Netflix could be a decent one to take a look at as it's trying to bounce back up right there. So we'll keep an eye on Netflix. Not a whole lot of good ones to look at right at the moment anyway. So maybe that's a good opportunity. And then their CHR, that's all right. It's just kind of hanging out. And again, we'll see if it could get curled up. These tend to run when everything else likes to pull back. So we'll see. As long as they don't have a reverse split, we'll be good. So I know a couple people are watching this cheer holding right there. And let's see what that JZXN ran up after the reverse split, but then it did pull back. You can see it was running up yesterday, Thursday, when we were talking about it. Friday, it ran up a little bit, and then it did pull back pretty good at the end. And that's what that JZXN did. And that VWAV right here, that was actually up and not looking bad. You might want to keep an eye on that one. That one could get running right there. So definitely watch that. And then that GRAN did pull back, but that was a great one that ran 2 days right there. That PETS. And that was just kind of hanging out, not a whole lot right there. How about your ABEO right here, Michael Anthony, pulling back on you? And your DLO is pulling back as well. So interesting right there. UNG, and that is your United States gas. And again, yeah, I think you should bounce at 1250. I'd say you're probably around there somewhere. So it's in 1270s right now. It'll probably see that bottom line right there, maybe a little more pullback. So 20 cents or so could be in the cards, maybe a little bit more, but right around there, Michael Anthony. And yeah, I'd keep an eye on that UNG as well. And let's go ahead. We'll look at the Mag 7 big cap, see what they're doing real quick. And like I said, we'll call it an early night. Let's look at crypto real quick. 88.5 for Bitcoin. Not looking beautiful, that's for sure. And it did come under the 20. I didn't think it would. It's still staying in a bullish channel. So it still has, it could bounce up since it had worked its way up there, but it doesn't look hot. I'll say that. And Ethereum's another one that's still kind of hanging in there, but it doesn't look great. It could roll off. They look like they wanted to. I'll tell you what, crypto's moving extremely slow right now for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but crypto is usually moves a lot faster than this. I guess maybe the volume or the money's just not pouring in as usual. So I guess you're seeing these drawbacks and not as fast of movement as what it looks like. So yeah, Ethereum pulling back right there. Janica, And how about your Solana? And again, that one is at 129 right now. So not great there. They were looking way better the other day. Let's put it that way. There's your Ripple pulling back a little bit. So you are seeing a pullback, and pullback a week, be like almost a week or so before Christmas is not a good look right there. Look at your chain link coming down into your 20 and your optimism. Let's see how optimistic we should be right here. I don't know. Let's hope that they can curl off and roll right off and get cruising again. But yeah, Bitcoin under that 50. And again, stayed in that bullish trend, but it has to bounce back up here and get moving back up into this 50 area right there. It's going to be pulling back some more. Tesla's at 461 in the overnight, so that's moving along. Let's go ahead. Like I said, our SPY was down Friday in your queues. Let's see. Apple had been just kind of hanging out there. Apple's actually not looking bad. We might keep an eye on Apple there tomorrow. That's actually looking pretty decent. Amazon right here was pulling back pretty good to the trend line. And our Google right here is pulling back a little bit. It looked like it wanted to run up, and all of a sudden now it's taking a dip. It's hitting that 20. See if it comes down to that trend line. And we'll look at Google in the morning. And then your Meta had been pulling back at a big old spike and then just came crashing down there. I don't know what the hell was going on there with Meta in the morning, but it did spike up there and then it came down. So there you go with Meta. And I don't know what Zuckerberg's up to, but he's a weird dude. And let's see what Microsoft, that was down a little bit. I mean, that looks like it's trying to get set up, to be honest with you, but maybe it's going to pull. And then NVIDIA had a nice dip. I guess that chart wasn't getting set up there. Maybe it'll bounce back up. It's hitting the 20, maybe even pulling back through it. So that's a crazy one with a nice dip right there. So NVIDIA shares fall as Oracle delays open AI data center to 2028. And China rejects the H200 chips despite U.S. export approval. But NVIDIA now evaluates expanding H200 production as Chinese orders exceed supply after U.S. allows. I don't even know what they're saying. Taiwan also launches new cloud hub featuring NVIDIA hardware amid strong AI demand. So we'll see if that bounces back up. I don't know. It doesn't look perfect right there, but we'll look at NVIDIA in the morning as well and see how that looks. And your Tesla, like you said, it was up a little bit. And it's at what, 460 something you were saying. And there you go. So Tesla looks like it's pretty strong there for tomorrow. So maybe Tesla, Apple, and we'll see what NVIDIA can do. And your AMC, we'll run through these guys real quick. Let's see what's going on with AMC. And that one is pulling back right there. And we'll see how much more it might pull back to that trend line. And GameStop, ooh, good thing I got out of them options at the right time, I'd say, huh? Pays, I guess, to sell while they're up. That's for sure. It shows you when they pull back that's always a good choice. And that one's pulling back. Chewy there's pulling back as well. Unity had been looking good, and that took a big dip. So it does look like we're seeing a nice dip here. And like I said, Netflix could be a good opportunity to get cruising back up. AVGO, what a dip that one was. And looks like it could be coming down some more. And MU is pulling back big, so that could be coming down some more. So maybe it's a shortened day tomorrow. TSM pulling back. It definitely was on Friday. That's for sure. If you shorted it, you were doing well. And SMCI right here is pulling back. And let me see what AMD is up to, because that also pulled back. So it is kind of crazy. We're seeing some great pullbacks right here. Maybe we will have some great opportunities, but the market just took a big old dip there Friday and possibly might dip down some more. And there is your QCOM right there. And that one's also pulling back. It wasn't looking too bad. And snow is definitely coming down in my area. And it looks like it could be coming down some more on the chart right there. So there is a SNOW, good old snow. I was out in that snow all day today. And PayPal right here. That's actually not looking bad. I'd say keep an eye on PayPal. That might be one of the few that look pretty decent actually tonight. Going into tomorrow, and Intel was pulling back. Looks like it could pull back some more. And even Dell right here. I mean, everything was basically pulling back. Look at that. Things were just crashing down there on Friday. I don't even know why. What even happened? Does anyone even know what the news was? Because I still don't even know. I just know everything dipped down pretty good. There's your IBM and your Palantir right here was pulling back, and your Sophie is just staying in that little channel. We'll see how that opens up tomorrow if it really wants to get cruising after I had that offering. And then your Mara and Riot were looking much better. They were trying to get set up in your Clean Spark. But now that Bitcoin's pulling back in crypto, you're going to have to see them pull back as well. So that stinks. And MicroStrategy been pulling back there and probably going to see a little more. So, and what about your Robinhood HOOD right there? That was pulling back. And I think you see some more pullback considering crypto and everything's going down. Coinbase, same situation. And that's what's going on with Bull, I think. And Bull is BS right there. It is pulling back. Space right here, that's pulling back. Whoa, look at that dip on Space. Holy cow. That had looked good before it ran up, and that's a big pullback. And then Boeing, I guess my option isn't going to work. And from last year anyway. So Bowie, not bad right there. Let's say that. What was Lockheed Martin doing right here? LMT, that was running up as well. So you can keep an eye on LMT and Bowie tomorrow. They could be good, decent decent opportunities on momentum plays right there. And let's see what else is going on after our Boeing is DJT, and then we look at Nike and that is pulling back right there for DJT. Nike had been coming down, like we already looked at Lulu. It was running up on the earnings, but did pull back at the end of the day. And then McDonald's right here was running up. Look at McDonald's. When the market does bad, McDonald's likes to do well for whatever reason. And Disney, that is running up as well there, Luis Rodriguez. So I'd say that was bouncing up. And then your Oxy and DXYZ. Oxy was pulling back down. ExxonMobil also pulling down. And your DXYZ right there, Luis Rodriguez, is 40. And it could be up even more, or it's up right now. And AMCI is at 489. So there you go. Both of them pulling up in the after hours at OCG right there was running up. And I know we had looked at this before, Oriental Culture. And that is moving. That was moving on Friday anyway. And we'll see what that wants to do right there, OCG. And let me go through and see what else is going on. I'll tell you about our New York trip. And then I'll probably wrap it up early because I'm definitely passing out early tonight. In fact, I'll tell you about our New York trip right now. So we went to New York last night for our story trading meetup. We got to meet Ben and Rhett. Congratulations. Rhett actually got engaged, not last night, but the night before, to his now fiance. They were in town in New York. I said to Luis Rodriguez, while we were on our way to New York, I said to him, I said, I think Rhett's getting engaged or got engaged while he was here. And I said, I'm only basing that off of the fact that nobody said anything to me, but just Ben's remarks when we were talking the other day. And he kind of just alluded that Rhett wasn't just coming in for just business. And I thought he was. I thought he was coming to meet Ben, and then we're getting some other stuff done. So that's what I was thinking. And then Ben kind of said, nah, he's got to do some other stuff while he's here. So I was like, and I knew his now fiance was coming. So I was like, I think he's getting engaged. I said it to Luis Rodriguez. And he was like, wow, that was pretty impressive. You were dead on the money with that. I said, it was only because of what Ben had said to me, but he didn't actually say that he was going to do it. But yeah, so he actually got engaged. So congratulations. And he's super, obviously, we know Rhett well, his fiance, super nice. And got to meet Ben and his wife, and they were great people as well, and so many great people. Anytime you're at a place and you have two Joseph Levies there, you know you're going to have a good time. So both Joseph Levies were great. We went out to dinner. So Luis Rodriguez, I picked Luis Rodriguez up at his house, and he lives about 10 miles literally from New York City, guys. It took like an hour to get over to the parking garage, which was 10 miles away. 10 miles. It took an hour. I'm not kidding. It was crazy. And Ben, everybody got to the place super late. Like we were supposed to meet up at like 9:15. Everyone was getting there like after 10 o'clock. Yeah, I think they were in an Uber ride. They were only a couple blocks away, and they were in an Uber ride for like over an hour. The girls had heels on, so they couldn't just like jump out and walk. And because they were enough blocks away, but yeah, you would have just gotten out and walked. Trust me, it was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it was like absolutely insane. They had so many blocks shut down, I guess, for Christmas stuff, and then it was really congested in New York. I've been in New York plenty of times. It was wild. Luis Rodriguez goes there all the time, and it was just nutty. Trust me, it was a wild time. It was like a ride on Mario Kart, Lewis Rodder. Yeah, at one point I like kind of had to cut off a bus and just kind of go around everybody. And I'm an aggressive driver. I grew up right outside Philly, so I can hang in New York City. That's for sure. That was the first time I ever actually physically drove in Times Square. I've been there a million times. I used to go up to the Sirius building like every week, but I'd take the train. I'd drive up to the Hamilton station, and then I would take the train up there. But this time I drove up there for the first time. And yeah, it is crazy. I'm telling you. So we made it up there, and then we went out to eat. We actually ate at the restaurant that was like right there where we were going to be meeting everybody. So we met up with Joseph Levy, and he came out and he ate with us. So me, Luis Rodriguez, and Joseph Levy enjoyed a really nice dinner there at, what was it called? The something rye. I forget what the heck it was even called. And what the heck? Oh, I forget. It was something in rye. And anyway, it was really good. And that was in that Marriott hotel right there. So we had dinner there. And then after dinner, we still had some time to kill. And we weren't even thinking to like go over and tell the people that we were there for the party and be like, hey, just keep our spot. So we were like, let's go look at all the Christmas stuff. And so we walked around some village. I forget what it was. Revel and Rye. There you go. And so yeah, we walked around that Christmas village. We had a good time. And then we were like, hey, we got to get back. And you could barely even walk down the blocks in New York City. It was so crazy. So we didn't get back until like almost 9:40 ish. And we were supposed to be there like 9:15 for the reservation. And so they had already like scrambled up our tables and whatever, but they put us together and gave us a huge table, and then we kind of switched around and made our own little table there. But yeah, we had a great time. We all met up, had some drinks. People had a few drinks, and got to meet everybody. So yeah, two Joseph Levy's and everybody else. Rhett, Ben, their Rhett's fiance, Ben's wife, and just a great time. So yeah, we had a lot of time. We hit up Juniors. I didn't even know what that was, a bakery. Luis Rodriguez grabbed some cheesesteak Danish or something. They were pretty damn good, I must say. So yeah, it was a lot of fun in New York. And then we left around like 12:30. Everybody pretty much left around 12:30. We came out. It was snowing pretty good out in New York. It wasn't really laying yet. And then we cruised right home to Luis Rodriguez's house. It only took about 25 minutes to get back home. So that was nice to him anyway. And it was laying at his house, the snow. So it was a little slippery around him. And I dropped Lewis off, and then I got cruising, and it was I don't even know what time it was, to be honest with you, Lewis, when I left. But I got home, it was 3:30 in the morning, and I drove down the turnpike. Obviously, it was like an hour and a half drive from Lewis's house, and I just kind of cruised down there. But I'll tell you what, people are crazy in the snow. Like, I have an all-wheel drive SUV, so, and I can drive in the snow. I've been doing it, and I've done it a million times. Go to the mountains and stuff and do it. So I can handle the snow with no problem. And honestly, I was just doing 65 on the turnpike, just cruising right along with no problem. I had no issues. There was cars flying past me, and I'm like, what are these people doing? And I'll tell you what, I've seen like 5 or 6 cars just completely smashed against the median. Like, you could see it. They were probably in the left lane and lost control, obviously, and they were probably going way too fast. And them cars all looked totaled, and they were all facing like oncoming traffic, so they all did spins and smashed up their cars. So yeah, like 5 or 6 of them I saw on the way home. And well, yeah, I just cruised home, and I'd say about the last half hour, I got about a half hour away from my house, and it was like a complete whiteout. I was like, oh man, it's like coming down now. It was snowing so hard. I couldn't even, it was laying in the turnpike, so I couldn't even see any of the lanes, and it's only a 2 lanes at that point. It's 3 up until about that part, and then it breaks down into 2. Yeah, I couldn't even see the lane, so I was just kind of cruising along. Not too many people out there, so we were just all the people out there were just kind of cruising right along. And yeah, I got home, and 1:13 you got to your house. So yeah, from 1:13 it took me to 3:30, which isn't bad in the snow, I must say. So There you go. And yeah, I got home at 3 and I went to bed at 3:30. I don't even remember, guys, to be completely honest with you. I know it was really late. Let's put it that way. So anyway, there you go. We had a great time. It really was a good time. It was nice to meet everybody and a lot of fun. In New York City, yeah, we did a lot of Christmas looking at like all the Christmas trees. There's Christmas trees everywhere. I mean, every place was like 10 million Christmas trees all lit up. So, and it was cool that it was snowing we were leaving. So it was fun and got to meet Luis Rodriguez face to face. And we had a good time and went out to dinner, like I said. And yeah, so great time in New York. We'll have to have another meetup maybe in the summer or something because that was a lot of fun. Maybe, yeah, Christmas time in New York can be a little bit wild as we saw. Traffic was absolutely bonkers, guys. I mean, bonkers times 100. And like I said, I've seen it in New York a million times and it was really, really crazy. Me and Luis Rodriguez, it took us over like 20 minutes to go one block. To just we were actually in the middle of the block. And to make a left turn, it took like over like 20, 25 minutes just to get to the light to make a left turn. And of course, I had to go and cut like 4 cars off and then go around some people and like almost run over a pedestrian to just try to make that left hand turn. It was crazy, guys. I'm telling you, if you're not familiar driving in New York City and you've never done it before, that's fun too. So anyway, that was our trip to New York City. And that's our Mag 7 spy and all them things. Let me look and see what you guys want to look at real quick. And then I'm going to hop off because I am going to bed soon. I'm not going to lie. I don't even feel that great. I don't even know. I just probably beat and exhausted. Oh, yeah, Joseph Levy. This is what I really need right here. Here, we got our Coke scarf, guys. Look at this. Now I'm good. All right, I got the Coke scarf on. I'm good to go now, everybody. So here we go. Let's go, everyone. Yeah, Joseph Levy, thank you for the Coke scarf. We'll use this for sure. Another great prop. So yeah, Joseph Levy gave me the good old Coke scarf right here. So we will definitely use that. And like I said, I just am exhausted right now. So we'll bust through and see what you guys want to look at, and then we're gonna hop off. We'll be on at 7 a.m. and we'll see what the market looks like at that moment. We'll go through the laptop travel ones at that point and all that good stuff. Like I said, the kids will have a 2 hour delay, so everybody will be sleeping in the morning. But anyway, there you go, Michael Anthony. So that's what was going on. And let me see, I did see a couple people in the cannabis stocks, of course, the ETFs and all. We looked at a bunch of them. They looked great. And the news, we're just waiting to see if I didn't see that Trump came out with anything yet, but we'll see what happens. And let's see, you worked for Alaska for a few years there, and it was snowing driving 6 months of the year nonstop. I can only imagine, dude. Yeah, once you start learning to know how to drive in the snow and you have the right vehicle too, you can't really have like a front wheel drive car or something, or rear wheel drive car, really, and be driving. You don't want to be driving in a sports car. Let's put it that way. In the snow, I don't care who you are, you're probably going to be sliding. And so yeah, you gotta definitely know how. And it doesn't take much. Like all wheel drive works because all your tires are spinning. The other way, you lose traction for 1 second. You're hydroplaning, it's over. Like you're done. And so yeah, people don't understand how to drive in the snow and drive too fast. And as soon as it starts snowing, it gets really, really slick fast. So you got to be careful. But anyway, that's that. And CETX right here. Let's see what's going on with that. That was dipping down there, Michael Anthony. Bounce off the 250 right down here. You're probably right there. It could even go lower than that right there. And deleted wants to see ASBP. Let me see what that's doing. Aspire Biopharma. And that thing is that's not too bad right there. It looks like it bottomed out, ran up, and then had a nice like a little run up day on Friday and a little healthy pullback is what it looks like right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And let's see, we were talking about that UNG, and that's that gas one right there. And that is going to be dipping down a little bit more. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And your rocket, we went over Zach and Hog right here. That's Harley Davidson. And that's a huge pullback. Look at that thing, Janica. Wow. And next 2 days will be below 25 there, Michael Anthony. Yeah, it's pretty cold around here. I forget where you even said you were, but yeah, it's definitely cold. East Coast getting cold. I know Georgia was really cold the other day. I was talking to my dad. It was like freezing. Today it's freezing there. So yeah, everywhere is cold. Tesla's up, it looks like, in the overnight at 461. GNS, that Genius Group, that's not too bad there, Doge Mama 9. Let's keep our eye on that. And how about PAVS, good old Pavs? That's a good one. That's going to get set up. We'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Let me jot it down right here. PAVS could be great tomorrow. And let's see. There you go. And Luis Rodriguez said he doesn't know how I do it. He stopped questioning it when I said about the old Rhett thing. He's like, dude, how the heck did you see that? Like, you saw that like you see the charts. It was pretty crazy. And Titan Trader, Joe Levy. Yeah, that Joe. There was two Joe Levy's there. So Joseph Levy, both Joseph Levy's were there. They're both in the Discord, but yeah, the one is a I don't know, does he do Titan Trader? I don't know who what I know Joseph Levy has his own trading thing. I just not exactly sure what it's called. I've never asked him, so yeah, I'm not exactly sure. They're TB12, but it's the two Joseph Levy's that are in the Discord, and Revel and Rye is where we ate and hit up that juniors. And yeah, it was a great time, Doge Mama 9. And yeah, we got home super late. That's for sure. Giants lost again. They're 2-12, the worst record in the NFC. That's kind of crazy there, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, crypto doesn't look too hot either right now. Look at Bitcoin. It's up a little more. It was at 88.5. I mean, as long as, like I said, it's staying in this bullish channel. So that's all you really need it to do. It's dipping down. It could pull back, though. But as of now, it's still in that bullish channel. Not looking too bad. So we'll see what tomorrow brings us right there. And I would say that's a pretty good, quick market review. And again, we'll see what's happening in the morning. I'll hop on at 7 a.m. And the kids have a 2-hour delay, so we can do a little bit longer tomorrow morning and really go through the market and see what's going on. But there's your Tilray right there. I was talking about that when I jumped in it. I was talking about it in the Discord. And there's your YCBD, and all these cannabis ones. Canopy Growth's a good one as well. So there you go. They're obviously doing really well right there, the cannabis industry, with that news that it might get rescheduled from reclassified from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. So there you go, everybody. I would say that is a fun little quick market review on a Sunday night. So go enjoy your Sunday night football. It looks like it's kind of just starting right there. It's what is it, Vikings and Cowboys. So there you go. You can go enjoy that game. It just started, I think, a little bit ago. I don't even know if anybody scored yet. So go enjoy Sunday night football. Go wrap your presents or do something, some holiday spirit stuff, Christmas things, festive things on a Sunday night, or just go get some rest like me, because I am going to pass out. I am exhausted, guys. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, for a quick little show right there. And again, tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. We'll go through the market entirely and see exactly what's going on after I get some rest tonight. So I'm going to pass out after a long night, long day today, and I am going to get some sleep. So you guys enjoy. Thank you, TB12 and Luis Rodriguez. It was great last night hanging out. And Laptop Travel, we actually FaceTime Laptop Travel. He got to hang out for a little bit as well. And Doge Mama 9, and of course Zach and Janica Deleted, and Michael Anthony, and everybody else, Robin and Joseph Levy's, and all of you guys hanging out, and everybody we met last night. It was great. So thanks again, guys, for hanging out tonight. Be sure to follow along and all that good stuff. And all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And there you go. We'll see you guys at 7 a.m. We do that pre-market show Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and this show Sunday through Thursdays at 8 p.m. So there you go, everybody. Hit the like button on your way out of here, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.